is Lizzie from Lizzie's World of Gems. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Flirty Friday WIP&Chat. Today I am going to start my brand new painting. It's a 70 by 70 and I have a little picture here and I showed it at the beginning. It's my Flirty picture. So I cut a little section. I thought I would start because I want to see how long this takes me. So this is the very first day. I've been holding off all day to start this with you guys on camera. I already cut out a little section. I'm not going to show at the end how much I got done because obviously in order to put it up, I cannot do that today. But I am going to continue on working on it today. I don't know how far I will get. I stayed up late to kit it up, and hence why I'm late filming this, because I was tired. But I don't know what any of the letters are yet. So Z is obviously 310. So we're going to start off with 310 because you know that's what I usually roll with, and I start off with 310 on all my paintings. I got my butterfly here. I might have to move. And I'm using my Cora 3D tray. I'm starting to use it because I want to get used to using it. And we're going to start and see how these gems work out for me. I finished Mama Knows Best, so Mindy's Whip Along is now complete. I will have the post review for it hopefully up this weekend, plus the post review on the lighthouse from the Hooligan that I finished. I plan to film those at some point, maybe today, I don't know, or tomorrow morning. I've had an eye infection, so my eye has been hurting. So there hasn't been that much diamond painting, and plus I'm really into this show on Netflix. Yes, I know, Liz and her shows. It's a Canadian show. I'm not sure if it's on American Netflix or the UK. It might be in the UK Netflix or the Europe Netflix. I'm not 100% sure. But it's called Anne with an E. It's a spin-off of Anne of Green Gables. Well, it is Anne of Green Gables, but it's just with a different name. And the introduction song is the Tragically Hip, which is a very, how do I put the Tragically Hip? They are a part of our history of Canada. He passed away. I don't know if anybody's heard the song New Orleans is Sinking. That's from the Tragically Hip. And the beginning song is obviously not New Orleans is Sinking, but it's another one of the Tragically Hip songs. And every time I hear it, it just brings joy to my heart and sadness, because he passed away with brain cancer. And he had this big, huge concert, and yeah, it was memorable. That is for sure. Other than, it's really good. I'm really super enjoying this Anne of Green Gables. Well, it's Anne with an E, it's called. And I really like it. And I took a break from it right now so I could film this. And speaking of like flirty, I think, don't tell anybody, but I honestly think that my heart belongs to romance. I just long to be romance. Like, I long to find romance in my life. I honestly think I have never had romance. And it's like, that's why I think, like, when you watch, let's say, for example, the Hallmark channel, and you have all those romantic, sappy movies, and you think, yeah, only in the movies. That's honestly sometimes how I feel, but I long for that. Does anybody understand what I'm getting at? Or am I just talking gibberish? Because I long to have that in my life, and I feel like I have never. Have I been in love? Yes, I've been in love. But do I feel like I've ever had romance? The closest romance I ever got was from an ex-boyfriend of mine, Jay's, and I think I've talked about him before on my channel. And he made me a romantic dinner, candlelight dinner, and gave me a ring. And I think that's the most romantic thing that's ever happened to me, honest to God. I think that's it. And you think back, and that's kind of sad. Did I love my ex-husband? I don't think I ever did love my ex-husband. Now that I look back at it, I was young, foolish and naive, and thought I could take the world on. And clearly, that didn't. Well, I did take the world on, but I took it on alone, with my children. And I think that's made me who I am today. Even though sometimes I'll complain about my children. Honestly, I don't think I did a very bad job at all doing it on my own. And I take pride in that I did it on my own with no help or no child support or anything to say that I got anything from any, you know what I mean? Like, I did it. Would have child support been nice? Heck yeah, it would have been nice. It still would have been nice if I still got anything for Alyssa, but I don't. Oh gosh, I have to move that up because for some reason I like to hold my tray above. I know a lot of people hold their tray down here, but I like to hold it above. But that's what makes me a little bit unique, don't you think? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, I feel, and then this show is just making me feel like giddish, you know, and the possibility, like back in those days, was it like that, or are they just making it playful like that for television? I don't know. Like, sometimes I beg to differ on the situation. Oh, I just had a yawn. I stayed up late trying to kit this up. There's a lot of it still in bags because not all of it fit in the containers clearly, because this painting only has 20 colors. So, yeah. And it is a black and white picture, so I don't know how much of that is going to annoy me with all these dark colors, but we will see. We will see what happens, guys. We will see, because I am super excited about this painting. And oh, look, that one has a tag on it. First tag that I found. So far, they're going down nice. We won't know or be able to judge until I get the square done, or rectangle, or whatever you want to call whatever I cut out here. But we're not going to be able to tell until that is done. kind of struggled with this piece. Like I said, I wanted to do Flirty Friday, and it's such, I think this is why it's taken me so long to film this. It's because it's such a sticky topic. I don't want to make it rated R, clearly, and I just want to have fun, and I don't want to say something that I will regret later on saying, you know what I mean? Do you guys understand? It's kind of like a spicy topic. So I thought I'd do questions too. I did promise that story of a mishap that happened years ago, and I might tell it towards the end of this video. Love is different than sex, clearly. Like, okay, I'm no psychiatrist or therapist or anything like that. And I am definitely not the person to give out love advice, because clearly it hasn't worked for me. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to be an old hag by myself with nobody. Sorry about that. Someone called and turned off my phone. And, you know, I really have to start remembering to put it on airplane mode, but I haven't. That is my downfall with my phone. Okay, so I forget what I was talking about. It was probably rubbish anyway, because I'm just like elaborating on, because this is, I'm sure once I get into Flirty Friday, it'll get better. But I did find a few tag questions now. Some of them I'm going to skip through because I don't see how that's irrelevant to anything flirty. So, yeah. So the first question is, what is your biggest turn off in a person? Well, I'll say in a guy, my biggest turn off in a guy is I don't want a smelly guy. Ugh. Like a dirty boy, like like dirty, like someone that, let's just say somebody that keeps up their appearances and cares about the way they look is what's appealing, not somebody that doesn't care about themselves. Basically, what is your biggest turn on in a person? I think I like their smile. I think their smile is what makes my heart turn into mush. I honestly do. A guy's smile that I am physically attracted to makes me melt. As long as a guy can smile. Because when I know they're smiling, I know they're happy, and I know that they want to be with me because they're smiling and I'm smiling, and then it's just wonderful. That's how I feel. Or you like your zodiac sign suggests that you should be. Now, I'm a Leo, the lion, and isn't that supposed to be brave and courageous and stuff like that? I don't find myself that at all. I find myself very shy and very low spoken, and I get teased for that a lot, that I talk too low. but it's in my nature and I can't help it. I literally am yelling if you want to hear me. I get it all the time at the drive-thrus, at the stores, like at the restaurants, the fast food places, that my voice is too low. At work, I get it that my voice is too low. I just can't help it. I'm literally screaming for somebody to hear me. Otherwise, I have a very soft-spoken voice. I am totally not like my sign. I don't know what sign would be because I'm not very into like the zodiac signs or your horoscope because I honestly don't believe it. I think it's hogwash. But that's my personal opinion. Doesn't mean everybody else has the same opinion as me. Maybe I used to at some point and thought, oh, this really adds up to how I feel. But I don't know anymore. I honestly don't know anymore what I feel or what I think, to tell you the honest truth. And that's where I'm going to leave that one at. The next one, I don't think is anything to do with anything flirty or suggesting, is when did I realize Santa Claus was real? And I don't know why that question is in this tag at all, and I really don't understand it or get it. But I don't even remember. Honestly, like I told you before, my Christmases, Santa Claus never came in the morning, so probably I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. At what age did you have your first kiss? Now, my first kiss was with a neighbor boy, and we were at a wedding. And back then, they don't do it anymore. But back in the olden days, I'm going to call it, at a wedding, they'd have a thing called, in the Portuguese weddings, I don't know if other wedding cultures do this. If they do so, can you comment down below? And I will really like to know if other cultures do the same thing that we do. We don't necessarily do it anymore. I haven't seen it done since, well, my wedding in the 90s. I haven't seen it done again. The newer weddings does not have it. But what I'm talking about is, in Portuguese weddings, at the end of the wedding, they give you a souvenir of the wedding. Now people just put them on the tables. When you get to the wedding, there's a souvenir of the wedding. But back then, they gave it out at the end, and with a piece of cake and champagne. And we called it the champagne dance. And what you did was you found a partner, you would hold hands, and there'd be music going. And then a couple, like you'd line up like in a train. And then the couple at the end would go in, and then the two people that are holding hands would put their arms down. And every time they put their arms down, you had a kiss. And then you continue down the whole line until the end, where you see the bride and groom, because obviously they're the ones who started. And then you get your piece of cake, your champagne, and your gift. And that's how we used to do it. I don't know if there's any videos about that on YouTube, but that was a tradition we used to do back in the day. So my first kiss was in that champagne dance. Well, it was more than one kiss, obviously, because we had to go through the whole champagne dance. It was just a peck, like, you know, just kisses, with my neighbor friend that has since passed away in beginning of 2018 with a brain tumor. And very, very, I will always remember and cherish my friendship with my neighbor Frank. He was very nice, always smiled. His smile was, like I said, captivating. You know what I mean? You know when there's somebody's smile that just captivates you? His smile did that. It captivated you. Made you feel all warm and tingly inside. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody get me this morning? Or this afternoon, or whatever time the heck this is right now. I think it's afternoon already. Like I said, I'm filming late today. Because I was watching Anne with an E. Super, super good. Good movie. Good movie. Good TV show, sorry. At what age did you have your first crush? And who was it? I'm pretty sure my first crush was Frank. To tell you the honest truth. That's why I kissed him. And I think I kissed him when I was like 14, 15 in that champagne dance. If you even call it real kissing. I don't know. My first French kiss was when I was 18. With the Portuguese boy in town. Yeah. Thought I was going to marry that boy, but I did not. Oh, I said I already answered that one. What is the best compliment you have ever received? A lot of compliments I get are on I have beautiful eyes. They're not so beautiful right now because they're swollen because I got an eye infection in one of my eyes. So bear with me. That's probably why I haven't done painted much this week, to tell you the honest truth. Is my eye's a little bit sore. I'm kind of seeing a little bit blurry right now. Because I've been crying watching Anne with an E. It's very sappy. And I really, really like it. I love me a good show that makes me cry. That I do have to say. What is the best sex you've ever had? That is hard to say. I have the best two lovers I've ever had. And they were in my 20s. After my divorce, clearly. My ex-boyfriend Jay is in the top running, and my ex-boyfriend Raymond is in the top running. Both for their own individual reasons why I liked them. I can't say I had one awesome experience because I had more than one. Like, I don't know. I can't say there was like, I can't have one just stand out over the rest. I don't think. But if I was to rate the top people, it would be those two. Do you hate anyone right now? The hate is a big word. Do I dislike some people? Yeah, I do dislike some people. Do I not agree with some people? Yeah, I don't agree with some people. But hate is a strong word. And I don't hate anybody. I might not approve of what you say or do, but I don't hate anybody. Does anybody understand? Like, hate is a strong word I don't like to use in my vocabulary. Sometimes when you're so mad at somebody, You want to say you hate them, but it's more like you dislike them, right? That's what I think. Do I agree with everybody? No. Am I my own person? Yeah. Am I going to care what other people think about me? No, I don't really care. I don't care what other people think of me. I am who I am. My channel is what it is. And I try to make it unique and different as possible as I can. Do I wish I had more unboxings on my channel? Yeah, I do wish I had a lot of unboxings on my channel, but I don't. And I try to entertain you in other ways. And I hope I'm doing a good job enough doing that. I don't know how this got into the topic of my channel, but hey, I'm just rolling with what's in my head. I'm just rolling with it. Do you have any hidden piercings? If yes, where? Oh, wouldn't you guys like to know? I did have a tongue ring at one point in my life. I do not have it anymore. When I was working at AccuCaps, which is the pharmaceutical company, at one point we were just making paintballs at the beginning, and I got a tongue ring then, and I got to keep it. But as soon as we went back to pharmaceutical, I had to take it out, and I took it out on the when I went to work. And one weekend I forgot to put it back in, and by the time I remembered to put it back in, I felt like it was closing, so I just didn't bother putting it back in because it was so hard to put it back in and out. I just gave up, and kind of happy because it ruined my teeth. It really did, and all the dentist bills that I got now because of it ruining my teeth. I'm kind of happy I do not have it anymore, to tell you the honest truth. Of course, my boyfriends at the time loved it, but my teeth are more important. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Yeah. Do you have any tattoos? Yes, I do. Clearly, I have one right here, if you guys haven't noticed. And I got two in my back. My upper back. Not my lower back, my upper back. Do you miss anyone right now? Yep, I do. I miss my ex-boyfriend very, very, very much. And I think that's what's holding me back from moving on with my life. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I miss Trevor. I wish Trevor never passed away. I wish I could have had more time with him and maybe had spoken to him like I should have towards the end when he texted me at Christmas and everything, and I kind of brushed him away, thinking, to me, Trevor was always there, and I never thought that there'd be a day that he wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I miss him terribly too. I think there's another question about that later on. Do you smoke? Well, I vape. I'm pretty sure all of you guys know that I vape. And speaking of vaping, I'm going to take a quick intermission and have a vape. I'm back. Yes. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of a vape and calculate my thoughts. I need to clean my glasses real quick here, guys, with my shirt. Where was I? Have you ever been loved? No. Oh. To your acknowledgement, have you ever been cheated on? Yes, I have. By my ex-boyfriend. I've been on both ends, to tell you the honest truth. And you would think somebody that was cheated on all their lives, they wouldn't be on the opposite end, but I have been on more than one occasion. Is it right? No. But at the time that it happens, you don't think of those things. I don't know. So maybe because I've been cheated on, I have a different aspect on it. I don't know. I don't know why. Have I always had better judgment in my life? No. I could have had a lot better judgment on what I've done or what I continue to do. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I feel like, oh, I just want to feel loved. But it's the wrong kind of love. And I know it is. I think we all know what it is deep down inside. Yeah. Have you ever been in a physical fight? Heck to the no. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I've always said that. True to my words. To that. I'm done with the P's. Now I'm going to go with the V's because I'm finding that I think these are all the dark colors. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm starting to get used to this tray, guys. I think so. No, it's actually a light color. So I don't know how it's going to turn out with that underneath. No, this is the wrong letter, Liz. Oh, my eye is swollen. Look it, I'm going to put a different color in. I know that probably annoys somebody. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh. Where was I? Have you ever been in a relationship? Obviously, I've told many times the stories that I have been in serious relationships with some serious dudes. Yep. And I've been married before. That's a whole other segment. My marriage. I don't remember very much of it. Isn't that sad to say? I say this to my kids and they get mad at me. I honestly can't remember my sexual experiences with my ex-husband because they were so long ago and they weren't that rememberable. To tell you the honest truth, even though I lost my virginity to him, I remember that day, and I didn't even really want to do it at the time. And now that I think about it, I was pressured into it. Yeah, I think I was just pressured into the whole marriage to him. I don't know. That was one mistake that I wish I could take back, but I can't. But if I did, then I wouldn't have Sarah, and I wouldn't have Luna, and I wouldn't have Tyler. Well, do we really? Yeah, I love Tyler, even though he drives me crazy. It's very challenging living with Tyler. Like this morning, I was ready to beat him. Literally, I would have never beat my children, but he was driving me crazy. Like, I went out this morning. Okay, a little backstory about this morning. I've been bugging him to cut the grass. Okay, our back gate is broken and it's shut tight with a nail, and I have to get somebody to put a new latch on it. So in order to cut behind the fence to the road at the back of our house, you have to go all the way around. Well, he was going all the way around because he would cut it when the neighbor was home. Now, I'm talking about the neighbor that has all the junk on the side of my house that drives me mental, and I'm gonna say something to him, I think, this weekend, because it's gotten so bad now that it's all the way down to the end of the driveway, which I think I've told the story before. So he has a driveway. So this is his driveway. Say this is his driveway right here. And this is my house. So my house goes right up to his driveway. And then I have my porch. And it goes up to the driveway too. But this much of his driveway is actually my property. But my aunt lived next door to my parents. So my parents let her put pavement all the way up to our house. Which at the time they didn't care because that was my aunt, right? So he has along the side of my porch, because my house is here, my air conditioner's here, so there's rocks here. He put down rocks all along that side of the house so I didn't have to cut the grass there, because heaven forbid I get near his house with my lawnmower. So he put rocks there. He asked me if he could, and I said fine, I didn't care, whatever. So there's rocks there. And for as long as I didn't have to pay for them, because I pay for the rocks in front of my house, but I didn't pay for those ones over there. But anyways, here or there, he has patio stones lined up all along the side of my porch, like on the bottom of my porch, because my porch is fairly high. And then now he's got, like, I don't know, it looks like a dresser or a chair. I don't know what he has, but now he's got junk and 2 skids at the end. So I can't even get behind by my stairs to cut the grass where it's growing like weeds, because he's got all this junk lying. Oh, and he has a basketball net there too from his kid, because they moved out. So he has it up against, like, all the junk is up along my house, the side of my house. So if you're coming from the street, like when you come down our street, you probably think, oh, is that her junk? Because it's all lined up by my house, and it's like, it's starting to like get a little bit, like, I didn't mind the patio stones there. They've been there for a year, whatever. I didn't really care. But now it's getting a little bit overhand ridiculous with all the junk now he's piling on that side of the house. And it's starting to get a little bit annoying, and I'm not liking it. So yeah, that's my little spiel about the junk. Well, anyways, I bugged Tyler because, like, he works. Well, the whole point of that story was he's working right now. So during the day he goes to work. So it's a perfect time in the morning when it's cooler to cut through his backyard to go cut the back of the house, so I don't have to go all around the block with the lawnmower, because that's just ridiculous. So I don't think he would mind if I cut through there, nor will I really care, because you have all your junk up against my house. So I don't really care. Like the one day the dogs ran to the back and I cut through his backyard, and I heard him through in the house in the kitchen window. He's like, Liz, what are you doing? I'm like, sorry, my dogs took off. I have to go find them. And he's like, oh, no worries. Like that, right? I'm like, I don't really care that you're mad at me because I'm cutting through here. But I'm cutting through here because that's the only way I could get to the back road without going around the block. So needless to say, I guess if he had it fenced in, I wouldn't be able to do that, but he doesn't. So yeah. So I cut through there I bugging Tyler to cut the grass, and then he's got all mad at me because I wouldn't bring his earbuds to work after I took him lunch. I stayed up till 11:30 and brought him McDonald's because he was crying that he didn't have lunch. And, you know, I'm mom and I feel sorry for him, so I went to McDonald's for him and brought him lunch. And then he was like on about his earbuds. He wanted me to go back again. I'm like, Tyler, I don't really want to go back there again because you forgot your earbuds in my car. So he ends up
getting mad at me and saying that he's not going to cut the grass for me now, blah, 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 blah. So this morning, and then my sister Helen, you know Helen, she's on my case. It's really looking bad behind the house. Like, get your son, blah, blah, blah. And she's on, if not, pay somebody, blah, blah, blah. So this morning, I just got so fed up. I went out there and did it myself. While I knew that my neighbor was gone. I cut through his backyard, and I went back there and I cut it. And then I cut the front yard. But I'm leaving the backyard for him. He's got to cut the backyard. The backyard is way too big for me, and I can't do it. I had a heck of a time doing behind the house because it was super long and bad. And also, I don't want to get a notice from the town or a bill from the town that they cut my grass at the back behind the fence. And what pisses me off about there is everybody that drives down that road throws their garbage out the window and it lands on that piece of thing. So when I was cutting it, I cut some paper and it flew everywhere. And yeah, I didn't really care. Plus I don't know. I need to see, but I can't find it. Because this is the first time I'm doing this. I don't see a C, guys. What the heck? J7. Oh, there it is. C. That's a very important letter, too. It's an important letter. So yeah, I don't know how I got off topic to talk about the grass, but yeah, that's what I did this morning. That's why this video is late. And I got back in and I was hot and sweaty and I was just hating life. And I had to sit in front of the fan for a while and cool off. But it's done now, and so I don't have to hear Helen freak out on me all weekend about the grass. And it's done. Except for the backyard. She can't see the backyard, so I don't really care when he gets to the backyard, but it will be sometime this weekend because I'm going to make him. Yeah. Have you ever loved someone and they didn't love you back? Oh no. Have you ever been loved by somebody but you didn't love them back? Yes. One of my ex-boyfriends loved me to death, but I didn't have the same feelings back. Have you ever loved someone and weren't loved back? Yes, it's happened to me too. I've loved some of my exes very dearly, but I never reciprocated it back to me. You know what I mean? And those are the ones that tend to break your heart and you cling on. You cling on to boys are like that. The bad boys. The boys that don't give two darns about you. Or maybe I just had been dealt the wrong cards all my life. I don't know. Have you ever been betrayed by somebody you care about? Well, obviously the cheating boyfriends. I was betrayed by them. Somebody that I really cared about. So yeah, I can say I have. I have been. Have you ever been catfished by anyone? Yes, I have. This was a while ago. Some guy on Facebook messaged me, said he was in the American military, had pictures of an American military man, said he was in Afghanistan at the time, because I think this was around the time that they were all stationed there. I don't know if they still are. Don't quote me because I have no idea. And just the things he'd say, and then trying to get me to buy a cell phone for his kid. I totally knew this guy was catfishing me. And I even called him out on it, and he got mad. And I just stopped talking to him because it wasn't worth my time or energy. So yeah, I have been catfished by somebody, but I wasn't foolish enough to give in or give money or anything like that, like 90 Day Fiance kind of a deal. That's what it reminds me of. Have you ever dated someone you met online? Yes, I have, and I actually moved in with one. That was the biggest mistake in my life, too. I've done some pretty mistakable things. That is for darn sure. That didn't even last a year. Almost a year, but not quite. Very controlling. Man, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. It's too controlling. Have you ever given or received a hickey? Of course I have, because I was a teenager. Well, I didn't actually have. I've had it. I've had hickeys, and I don't think I've ever given a hickey. I might have. I don't remember, but I think hickeys are gross. I think there's something that teenagers do. I don't know. I just don't like hickeys. They're like blood vessels broken in your neck. Like, I don't like hickeys or your breasts or wherever you're having a hickey. Because they can be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Have you ever liked a person your friend was dating? Yes and no, but I would never act upon it, if you know what I mean. Like, there's this one guy that for me, but we didn't know. Like, I wasn't friends with my friends at this point. I met them after the thing happened between me and this guy. Then I find out he slept with 2 of my other friends. 2, so the 3 of us slept with the same guy, but at different points of our life. So something like that was kind of different. The next ones are starting to get really, really depth and personal, and I don't really want to start with them, but I was going to tell that story. So back in the day, I went to a lot of Fantasia parties. Does anybody know what a Fantasia party is? So Fantasia party is a party that sells sex toys and lotions and potions and the mostest and, you know, stuff like that. And it's like a party you have, kind of like, you know, how do I explain it? Kind of like a party light can party, but instead of party lights, you're doing a party about sex and products, lotions, and stuff like that to entice in the bedroom. And I think they sell some lingerie too or whatever, but I've been to a lot of those parties, and I've even hosted one before. So I had a lot of toys back in the day. I don't have any of those anymore, but I did have a lot of them back then. I have different ones now. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, I'm single. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm like, people guys are like, TMI, too much information. But I had these toys, and I had them in my bedroom stand, like in my bedroom on like the nightstand drawer is where I kept them. But like, my kids were never really one to go in, well, at least I thought, into my room or whatever. But I went camping for the weekend with my sister Helen, and this is when Alyssa was a baby, and I brought Alyssa with me. But Sarah and Tyler stayed at home with my sister Yvette, because at the time, me and my sister Yvette rented a townhouse together. And well, I rented the townhouse. She lived with us. So she was in charge to watch all the kids. Now, it was my kids. It was Sarah and Tyler, plus my nieces Chantel and Monique. Well, doesn't Monique and the kids get into my room, into my drawer, and throw all my toys out my bedroom window on the front lawn of our townhouse. And while I was camping. So I hear the story from my neighbor Mo, which is my best friend, because she lived next door to me. And she told me what happened. And I was like devastated. I could not believe they did that. So, and I'm like thinking to myself, and I kind of like got mad at Yvette. I'm like, do you even watch them? Like, because how did you not know they were throwing them out the window? Like, sometimes I think my sister. So, yeah, that was my funny story of my toys all in the front lawn for all of Strathroy to see. Oh, and then even more. So, obviously, the kids didn't clean it up very well. And at the time, I had a car. It was a green Cavalier. And I had it parked because I didn't have it at the road on this time. Something was wrong with it. So, it was just sitting in the driveway. Well, one of them must have rolled underneath of the car. And none of us knew about it. Well, when it came time that I moved the car, my neighbors were outside. And next door to me lived like a whole bunch of young guys. Like in their 20s. And my friend Tamara was over, and I moved the car, and what was underneath the car but one of the toys? And then one of the guys were outside, and like I looked at her and she looked at me, and we were both devastated, and she whips it up, like she grabs it off the ground really quick, and she throws it in her, like underneath her top. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like devastated. I'm like, those kids, I tell you. Oh, the things the kids used to do when they're little. And I'm like, I was more devastated that they even knew that I had all of that, because they didn't know. Or do they even know what they were? I don't know, because I don't even remember how old they were. I'm thinking Sarah and Chantel did know, because I think they're in grade 7. Tyler, not so much, because I think it was in like grade 4 or something, or grade 5. I can't remember. I can't remember exactly when it happened. But I do remember Alyssa was already born, and I was camping with Alyssa at Helen's trailer. We used to do that a lot when Alyssa was little. Plus, when I worked the weekend shift, Helen and Bonnie always took Alyssa. So Alyssa grew up a lot around Helen and Bonnie. My other kids did not so much hang out with Helen at all. I think Helen took Sarah all of 2 times camping, and I think she took Tyler all of 1 time camping. Yeah. Jay, she's mad at Tyler right now, Helen, because she called one time and he was listening to a song on my car. And she interrupted it, and he spazzed out. Like, that's the thing with Tyler. He has a temper like his dad. He just, like, spazzes out for no apparent reason. And that really, really, really bugs me about him. Like, if there's one thing I could change about my son, it would be that. Because it really annoys me. And I know, like, maybe because I'm used to it, it doesn't really faze me. But Helen took offense to it, and now she hates him again. She started liking him again, now she hates him again. So, hate's a big word, but she'd probably say hate. I don't know. But she's mad at him, and she hasn't forgiven him. I told him to buy her some flowers, but yeah, she's so mad at him. I don't know if she's ever gonna forgive him for yelling. Helen takes very offense very easily. That's why, like, one time me and her got in a fight. We didn't talk for, she's so stubborn. I think it was like almost a month before we talked again. Can you believe it? That was a quiet month. Oh, it was a quiet, and for like love life, I can't have a love life with that woman. Oh my goodness gracious. I think if I ever did find a man, Helen would scare him away. Honest to God, I think so. She's always meddling into my love life. It's tense why my love life is non-existent. Yeah. Because she doesn't love anybody. She thinks that the whole world shouldn't love anybody. I honestly think, I forget the name of it, when you don't like either gender. If you don't like males and you don't like females. I forget what that term is called. I think my sister Helen is that term. I don't remember what it is called, but I'm starting to think she is. She doesn't like either sex. But with that said, I don't want to talk about Helen anymore. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go because this has been a long talk about nothing, and I told you my story. It wasn't really funny now that I look back. Well, you guys might have thought it was hilarious because, hey. Oh, and I wanted to show you one more thing. I got one of these in the mail. It's one of those sticky pads. I've been putting my drills that, you know, fall on my table, not necessarily are bad, because you know Liz, she drops everything. Oh, well, it stays on if you stick it, like here, if you stick it, and it doesn't really move. It does, but it stays sturdy. But yeah, it's stinky though. It smells very like rubber. But that's it. That's all I got done so far. I'm going to continue on. Maybe you'll see some progress throughout the week on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, go check it out. If you want to, go and follow my Facebook page. That would be super awesome. I have it linked always down below in all my descriptions. And show us your work in progress, what you guys are working on, because I so enjoy watching everything you guys are doing. I don't even care if it's not diamond painting. Put anything, any kind of craft in. I don't care what it is, but I like to see what everybody's working on. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go because now I'm yawning again. I think I need to have a nap. Don't worry, I'll upload this before my nap. And I hope it was okay. I know I was kind of here or there. Oh, there goes the darn fridge. The fridge went off during the video, but no trains. No trains this afternoon. At least I didn't hear any. Did you guys hear any? Because I don't recall hearing any trains this afternoon. Maybe they're working on the tracks. Who knows? But with that said, take care everyone. Till next time. Bye.
Well, folks, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like, please subscribe to my channel. I'd be super tickle pink. And remember to hit that notification bell and it will remind you whenever I load up a video. And till next time, take care everyone. Bye.